Hi there. Earlier on today, there was allegations made by some opposition MSPs that suggest there was some sort of cover-up by the Justice Minister who knew information about Scotland's new Chief Constable 3 weeks prior to becoming public, and some are questioning her integrity and not divulging information to the outside world. Now, before we go into the actual story, it evolves around the new Chief Constable Jo Farrell using a cop to drive her home during a storm. She lives in Northumbria, previously been from the Durham Constabulary, now Police Scotland, and she was driven from Edinburgh home, apparently with a colleague, an ex-colleague from the Durham Constabulary. And, you know, it might upset some people, that story. It's not a biggie to me. There's only one aspect of it, which I'll come to later, that is in any concern to me. But that nonetheless is the story. And this happened on the 9th of October, Jo Farrell was put in her new position as the Chief Constable of Scotland. And on the 20th of October, some 11 days later, she got an on-duty cop to drive her and her colleague 120 miles down to Northumbria and indeed to Durham. On the 1st of November, Scottish Government were made aware of this, and the Justice Secretary, Constance, had knowledge of this incident. However, it wasn't reported until over 3 weeks later, on the 23rd of November. It was reported in newspapers that this incident had happened, and obviously some people were upset about it, and Miss Constance was asked about it in Parliament, and she totally stonewalled when it became apparent that she'd known 3 weeks previous to the public knowing. She was asked in Parliament if she would divulge her correspondence between Police Scotland and her office regarding this incident. She had received correspondence, as I say, on the 1st of November, which she refused to make public, and totally stonewalled any questions about it, which upset a few MSPs, which is their choice. Now, as I say, the story itself to me doesn't have great consequence to my life. The only one part of it that I have any issue with at all is that this incident happened during Storm Babet. And at that time, alleged by some MSPs, there was only 2 traffic police on duty in the whole of east of Scotland, one of whom was taken by the Chief Constable to drive her and a colleague home to Northumberland, 120 miles. And if that is true, that to me is a bit ridiculous. At any time, having only one police constable on duty from a traffic department in quite a large area where anything could happen. But when you factor in the reason that she couldn't get home through a normal mode of transport, which is apparently the train, was because the storm was so bad, the trains were off. So under that, you know, when you take that into account, to then withdraw an acting police constable on duty, who's a traffic police constable, when there's a storm going about that's so bad you can't get home with a train, it would kind of make a normal thinking person consider if that was actually a wise thing to do or not. Now, since then, the Chief Constable, to be fair, did come out and make an apology about using the on-duty traffic cop to drive her home when the trains were off. And some people may accept that and some might not. As I say, I'm not that bothered about the thing, apart from that one bit about if it's true about only 2 police officers being on duty and she took one. That to me is a bit of a bad decision. However, this has led to obviously people suggesting that the SNP have been burying information about Scotland's Scotland's top police officer at the time. When you consider and you factor in that there's currently at least one big investigation going on regarding SNP, and that's the Branch Forum investigation, which we've since led to believe has went outside the original scope of just looking at £600,000 worth of missing party funds. It's now looking at potential misuse of funds, etc. So when you're in that climate and you're the Justice Minister for the SNP government, you would kind of think that you would deal with things a wee bit different than just ignore them. Now, I just don't understand the logic behind this. It just shows, is it massive bit of incompetence, or is it just a total blasiness that this party have got? I'm undecided, possibly a bit of both. That if you were a normal person running a normal party or doing the PR for a normal party, and you got wind of this, that there was this potential issue with the Chief Constable of Police Scotland, you would probably not recommend that your Justice Minister totally ignores it. Knowing fine well that in the current climate there's lots of people out there looking for dirt on the SNP and not having to look far, let's be honest. But when you're aware of that, you would probably imagine that this information will come out soon. So to put your Justice Minister in a position where you advise them to say nothing, it's just total lunacy. But then you've got to actually question, are those who are providing public relations advice to the SNP and the Scottish Government, are they actually getting anywhere? Do these people take that advice if it's given, which I'd imagine it would do? Anybody with a bit of PR experience would understand that that particular time, that particular thing could be a potential hot potato, and try and deal with it correctly and as little fuss as possible. And you would kind of imagine that the advice would need to be, go and deal with this and deal with it publicly right now. But no. The SNP sit on it and do nothing. And then 3 weeks later it becomes public knowledge. And then a couple of weeks after that it becomes public knowledge that they actually knew about it since the 1st of November. And then there's another thing to throw into the mix with this one. There are reports that as this information was coming out, lo and behold, Jo Farrell and Angela Constance, that's the Chief Constable of Police Scotland and the Justice Minister for the Scottish Government, both learned about this being made public at the same time at the same place, because they were at the same table, apparently, at an event, having a wee drink and a wee meal together. Again, it's a bad look. When you're trying to be a government, and it's particularly one that your party's under investigation, you would surely be well advised not to be attending functions and sitting next to people that should be investigating you, and give anybody the potential photo op of suggesting that you are, cajoling anything. It is complete lunacy to act in such a way. And the irony is, it appears that the night this information became public, the two of them are sitting next to each other at the same table at an event. These people really are the gift that keeps giving. When I started doing these 10-minute rants, I thought I would do 2 or 3 a week. Some days I'm doing 2 or 3 in a day. And I'm not going looking for stuff. It is falling onto my lap. If you spend any time on the internet or on social media, these things just fall out the sky for you. It is an absolute dream of a subject to have decided to vlog about a few weeks ago, because I could have picked a really difficult subject that I would need to go and find stuff and find information to vlog about. But this SNP government just keep on giving. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all again soon, no doubt. Bye now.